Hello, and many thanks for joining us on Focus Live. Focus Live, our live discussion program where we look at various topical issues week in, week out. And today we are also here doing the same thing. My name is Kayode Taiwo, your anchor on the program. And today we are looking at local government administration, Ogun at 45. We look at every aspect of local government administration, the expectations, what they've been doing, what they will probably will still be advised to do in terms of contributing to the three tiers of government and making Ogun State the dream state that we all wish for. And today I have two gentlemen on the set with me today to discuss this. First, I have the Chairman House Committee on local government in the Ogun State House of Assembly. That's talking about Honorable Balogun Akim, who is here in the studio with us. You are most welcome, Honorable. Thank you very much. All right. We also have with us a gentleman who has also served at the level of the local government before, on the political and elected position also. He was one time a councillor in the primary local government in Abeokuta here. I was talking about Honorable Wale Bailey. It's my pleasure having you on the program.
It is my pleasure too to be here. Right. Thank you very much.
So you're most welcome. Yes, let's situate this discussion. I will start from you, Honorable, because even though we'll be talking about Ogun at 45, but at least perhaps we start this discussion from the present and then maybe going into the past. You're the chairman of House Committee on local government and chieftaincy affairs. And let's start from the present assessment of the local government in this entity called Ogun State. How will you describe their performance so far?
Well, thank you. The local government in Ogun State of recent, I will say they have been trying to discharge their statutory responsibility as expected, though they still have some challenges. But despite that, by my own rating, I will still give kudos to them. That despite all these challenges, they have been able to live above board, and the communities have feel positively being part of the local government at that level.
Okay. All right. Let me turn to Honorable Wale now. You have served at the local government level in the legislative arm of local government. So that means you are truly a man from the grassroots, because like some people will say that one of the most difficult elections to go through is the councillorship, because everybody knows who is who. So, but from your experience when you served, maybe you will also want to add in your response when you actually served, so that now local government administration. Some people have been saying that perhaps we need not have local government. Some people will also say that local government, without it, how do you get to the grassroots? Where do you belong in this?
Well, I belong to the not just existence, but compulsory existence of local government. Nigeria is one of the countries that operate what we call federalism. That is, we have central government, powers are shared between the central government and subordinate units. So, as long as Nigeria is one of the countries in the world that operate federalism, you cannot rule out local government. Mind you, local government has been existing from the time of colonial era, during Clifford, Richard, and so on and so forth. Then we had, even before then, we had what we call native authority. Okay. Mind you, we were ruling at the central level. The traditional rulers were there at the native level. So I belong to the school of thought that say there must be existence, there must be local government to cater and to take care of the local people. That is where I belong.
Okay. Since you belong in that school of thought, okay. Now let me ask you for your own experience when you served as a councillor in your local government. What was it like? At the state level, of course, we have the executive, the legislature, and of course the judiciary. At the local government level, I know
We also have the same thing.
the same thing.
Yes.
But how autonomous were these three bodies in the local government?
Autonomous, when you talk of autonomy,
Mm.
it is relative.
Oh, okay.
Relative in the sense that while we were in the council during the Shoba era, while we were there, I can say we enjoyed autonomy to a large extent, because then the executive was on their own, the legislature were on their own, and we have the judiciary too, the customary court. So just as my brother has been up at the state level,
Yes.
the people at local government also have their own three organs, three arms of the government. So then we were independent to a large extent. Independent in the sense that the local government chairman then had his own budget. He prepared budget, he presented budget. We, the councillors who were the lawmakers then, at that level, we sat down, different committees, just as they do at the state level today. Different committees, they sat, appropriation committee was also there, just as they do at the National Assembly and the State Assembly. We did it while we were in the council. So I can tell you that to a large extent we enjoy autonomy.
Okay, it's just that you cannot say what the situation is. I think Honorable should be able to. Let me throw it to him. He's the chairman of local government and chieftaincy affairs in the. Now, from submission of Honorable Bello, he said the autonomy, we should have complete autonomy at the local government level. From your position as the chairman of the local government, do we actually have what he described as total autonomy?
Like the Honorable Councillor said,
Yes.
the word autonomy is relative.
Okay.
And I would say to some extent, well, we are progressing and improving on our past activities. It may not be as pronounced as when the Honorable was in the local government.
Okay.
But as it is, I equally belong to that school of thought that local government should exist, and not just existence for existing sake. They must be given that power to do that statutory responsibility that has been constitutionally bestowed on them.
Okay.
Sir. So, to a large extent.
But sorry, let me cut in there. You are in the State House of Assembly.
Yes.
And I know that to a larger extent, a lot of supervisory responsibility of the local government resides with the State Assembly. So if you are saying they should be, who are these that you're referring to that exclude the Assembly?
The Assembly has supervisory roles on the local government.
Okay.
And if in actual times, the local government have the full autonomy in terms of fiscal policy, administrative autonomy, financial autonomy, as the Constitution spelled out, I am sure they will be able to do better than they are doing now.
Okay. Now, the question I'll put to you on that one is that, so who is to ensure this constitutional implementation, the executive or the legislative?
To a great extent, we have limited control over the local government. Okay. They are independent body and they are government on their own. As we have the state government, we have the federal government, the local government is third tier of government, and they have every responsibility, every role to perform as a government. So the Assembly does have some supervisory role. We are not to dictate to them what to do. The Constitution just makes some provisions of a sort of check and balances on what they do at that tier of government. So that naturally they are independent on their own. Like the Honorable said, they have their own budget. They do appropriation as it pleases and in accordance with the local needs. So it is local government that does this. The state does do some supervisory role. How do you ensure that whatever you are doing is in compliance with your budget, whatever you are doing is within the ambit of the law, just to check whatever activities they are doing there. It is not as if the State Assembly has full control over the local government.
They are an arm of the government or their own.
Okay. Now, when we look at Nigerian constitution in terms of requirements for local governments, that is, if you want to contest for chairman, the minimum you can get. If you want to be a councillor, the minimum you can get. Many people have the opinion that the standard set has been part of the reasons why perhaps in some local governments they don't get quality representation and which rub off on the administration. Are you comfortable with the fact that with a minimum of school certs you can be council chairman? Are you comfortable with that?
Well, let me first correct an impression.
Okay.
No local government in Nigeria can enjoy 100% of autonomy. It is difficult because we say total autonomy. It is not possible because of the following reasons. Number one, we have local government service commission that recruit, promote, and transfer to local government workers. And where do we have the local government service commission? Under state. That is one. Number two, we have Ministry of Local Government that supervises the activities of the local government. So we have to be sincere, we cannot enjoy complete autonomy. And I want to say that local governments are babies of the state. Babies of the state in the sense that local governments are in existence according to the provision of the Constitution.
Yes.
They are in existence by the grace of the state.
In concurrence with the National Assembly.
It also says the state shall determine, 1999 Constitution, I don't know whether it has been amended or not, the state shall determine the existence, disruption, the composition of the local government. That is what gives some state governors the liberty not to conduct elections in the local government for almost 4, 5, 6 years. You understand me? So let's put that aside. But you and I have it in mind that no local government can enjoy total autonomy because of this. Look at the Auditor General that checks the accounts of the local government. Who employed him? Where does he sit? Under state. So the local government cannot enjoy complete autonomy. That's one. Number two, the question whether the school staff should be allowed to contest election. Well,
no, should be the minimum.
Yeah. My brother is in the States. They are the people to determine. Regardless of what we have what we call electoral laws. They will determine what will be the tenure of the local government officials. Right? What I'm saying in essence is that if the provision of the Constitution is that school staff should be the minimum to contest for election at the upper level, such as the state governor, the president, what stops us from having it at the local government. I want to say that if that is what is in operation for the state governor, for the president, National Assembly, and State House Assembly, it is not too low to have school staff holders to contest election. I want to contest. I'm an aspirant. I have my PhD. But regardless of that, there are people. Everything is not decided by academic certificates. There are some people who are just school staff holders and they have things.
They have street sense.
Thank you. Many of them are people who are chief in their various fields. So, school start is not too low.
Okay, all right. We still focus live. We'll take a short break because we will be accommodating our top guest on the program who is already in the studio with us. But after this break, we'll have him introduce you. Don't go away.
Fellow Nigerians, do you know that constituency projects are actually your projects? Do you know that constituency projects are funded by the federal government? Do you know that you can track release of constituency project funds for projects located in your constituency and follow up to know how they have been executed? Constituency projects happen because government does not want to leave any community out in development efforts. You have a responsibility to know what constituency project has been planned for your community, how much has been allocated for it, and whether value for money has been delivered. Take ownership of constituency projects located in your community. Protect them because they belong to you. Government knows about your needs and is planning for you. Government needs your help to ensure quality delivery. Know that constituency projects are actually your projects. Protect your constituency project. My constituency, my project.
For information on funds allocated to projects in your constituency, call 0800 2255 4272.
This message is from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back. It's the Focus Live, and we're still looking at Ogun at 45, focus on local government administration. And I have been chatting with two of my guests earlier on, and I have the third one joining us at this point. He's a legal practitioner, Barrister Isaac Izoya. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you, viewers.
Okay.
Sorry for coming late.
Okay, it's understandable. Yeah, Honorable, yes. We can't get total autonomy. We have accepted. But when you look at the significant role that local governments, which we all agree, play in dividends of democracy, particularly in a presidential system like this, how do you think we can possibly fortify local government in such a way that they can deliver on their mandate?
Thank you very much. Local government can better deliver on their mandate when some measures are put in place. One, the local government is saddled with the responsibility of payment of primary school teachers. And these are eating deep into their cost. Whatever cost from federation account partially is spent on the payment of primary school teachers. And when this is done, then they are left with token that can even sustain them to pay the salary of their staff, talk less of embarking on developmental projects. So if we actually want local governments to perform as constitutionally provided, then a lot of measures has to be put in place. One, local government in terms of what they get from the federation account has to increase. The local government has to embark on aggressive revenue generation at their local level. And like we have said, the caliber of people appointed at that level of government too needs to be determined. Like the former honorable said, you cannot give what you don't have. If you have people that are not versatile, that are not seasoned, that are foreigners, so to say in quote, becoming council chairman, then you cannot expect them to perform magic. Whoever but the council chairman is somebody that is familiar with the terrain, that understands the nitty-gritty of that local government area. That is when we can now begin to see some efforts at providing dividends of democracy to the people at that level of government.
Okay. All right. Barrister Isaac, let me bring you in at this point. Before your arrival, the issue of autonomy of local government was discussed. And the summation I got here is that local government cannot have total autonomy. For the point of law, can local government have total autonomy?
Thank you. The autonomy of local government is guaranteed. The president said it the last time that all money coming to the local government should directly go to the local government. Yeah. What is the essence of that? It's trying to tell you that leave the local government alone. The local government has all the officials that should guarantee their independence. First of all, know it that there is no absolute independence in all the tiers of government. Okay. But there is independence of checks and balances. Okay. But that of the state government and the local government is like the local government is like an appendage to the state government, which shouldn't be.
The local government should have...
Is that the position of the law?
No!
Okay.
That's not the position of the law.
What is the position of the law?
The local government is guaranteed under Section 7 of our Constitution.
Okay.
Their structure is guaranteed under... That's why you have the problem of when Tinubu was trying to create a local government in Lagos. The whole local government in Nigeria is already contained in the Constitution. You cannot add, you cannot subtract at that point. Now, if there's any addition, the National Assembly will have to do that. If there's anything that has to do with... There's a case like that came with the Ekiti State government versus Olubomi, where the state government had this law that dissolved the local government. That law per se, matched with Section 7 of the Constitution, was thrown out by the Supreme Court. That law, dissolving the local government, or saying what, looking into the affairs of the local government and dissolving a constitutionally elected local government chairman, is contrary to the provision of our Constitution. And by virtue of Section 1, Section 1 and 3 of the Constitution, is null and void to the extent of its inconsistency. So that's to tell you that if there is any law that affects the provisions of the governance of local government administration as contained in the Constitution, regardless of the procedure that law had followed to become a competent law in the state, that law stands void from its inception. So when the first problem you have is issue of money. It's okay, local government take your money. The president has announced it several times through public he has announced through bill. He has said this severally, that state government leave the local government alone. The issue why the local government cannot perform is not because of the amount they are getting. It's because of the influence, wealthy influence, big influence on the local government by the state government. And the worst of it is this one that is not constitutionally elected local government chairman. They become the person that the state government will bring by himself and position there, and he dictates everything that happens because the people did not participate in the government. So how can they be held accountable?
All right. So the law
they don't permit them to be independent. Okay. But know you that independence is not 100% whole. Yes, okay. But especially financial.
Okay. Okay. All right. So it means you are in concurrence with the earlier submission that it can't be absolute. Now, but let's begin to look at. Now we're talking about Ogun State at 45. There is no way this week, tomorrow Ogun State will be 45. So this week we should all be celebrating. If one is either resident or son or daughter of Ogun State, wherever you are, you should be happy that our state is 45. But let's look at local government since inception of Ogun State in 1976, though we had it several times under military. But all the same, when you look around you, maybe you might use your own local government, for instance, as will you say that there have been some kind of impact that you can see from the local government?
Country impacts. Let's look at it from 1976, local government reform. That was during then General Olusegun Obasanjo. Yeah. And after then, you see that when General Buhari took over the government, that was 1983, towards the tail end of his administration, I think precisely 1985, he inaugurated the committee, the Dasoke committee, that they should work on local government reforms again. When they discovered that there were some mistakes on the part of 1979-1983 politicians who did not allow the local government officials to function very well. As a result, he set up, but unfortunately, he was overthrown. When he was overthrown, Babangida took over. He continued with it. Before Buhari left the office, he dissolved all the newly created local government by the politicians between 1979 and 1983. When he dissolved it, Abeokuta was affected. Then before we had Abeokuta as a whole, we called it Abeokuta local government. So it was the then governor, Olabi that created Akomoje. Then we called it Abeokuta South. I was a primary student. I remember that we were marching on the road.
Not the government is coming.
The waving flag. Our chairman then was one, and Alhaji Fatai Godwin. We all went to his office to congratulate him. So when Buhari got here, he dissolved all those local governments. Now let's look at it from now, since from the effectiveness of the 1999 Constitution. Local government has been having good impact, most especially during Olusegun Oshoba and as well as Otunba Gbenga Daniel. During that time, I remember the market in Ishapon, the then was constructed by the one-time local government chairman. The existing markets structure in Lafenwa today were constructed by local government. The hospitals, big hospitals at Fagbero in Okeogun, Abeokuta was constructed by local government. Many roads, the road from Enuganda to Okeshokori, what do you call it, was constructed by one local government, a lawyer.
That bypass.
Yes, the bypass was constructed by Abibajayi local government. You see, they all are notable achievements, but very unfortunate that the immediate part of government, the local government were handicapped. They were not given enough funds to, were not even given at all. I remember during Oshoba, during Daniel, the local government had day for presentation of budgets. You know, they celebrated it, they did it. Each communities, each people, each community, they all came together to have their own input in the budget. This is what I want you to do for us in Okeogun, Bagura, Owu. The walls in those areas have their input.
The contributions.
Contribution in it. And when the chairman and the civil servants collected everything, they presented it to the legislative act. Who will also now go back to their own walls, like my own wall. I made sure that I put something in the budget. That street light is what I needed in my area then. And they put it and it was provided. I made, yes, during that time, from Ga to Sabo, extreme end, Sabo, extreme end. But unfortunately, the successive government could not maintain it. I put it that we needed transformer. A friend also got one at Abule Otun in Lafenwa. I got my own in Sabo.
Wow.
So many things local governments were able to do. But let's look at what we are having today. Local governments are also performing well today, despite the fact that we have not conducted election. I can tell you that my local government chairman, Teller, has been doing well. In my area, he has provided two things in my own ward alone. If I can see 2 projects in my ward, then what will happen to other wards? There are 16 wards in my local government. So he has done something in my ward. Some people are following to commission projects in other wards. As of today, if not for the local government, there's a place we call Agbafoji, the community for the blind people. Tell us provided them for owner. This is what state may not be able to do because the place is too small for the state or for the federal government. So that is why this is where local governments are needed.
Okay. All right. Honorable, Honorable Bello has given us an overview from his own local government. From good enough, you are from the other side of the states. Can we also share some of the experiences in your area as far as local government is concerned since inception of this state?
Yes. I equally join my honorable. In my local government as we speak now, my local government chairman just constructed about 4 boreholes to some of the remote parts of my local government. He just recently renovated a market that was abandoned, and today now the place is beautiful of activities. And the local government secretariat some 2 years ago was like an abandoned building. Today when you get there, it's really a new leaf.
Wow.
So I can say since the coming of this administration, we have been able to begin to feel the impact of the government positively. And I believe that is how it goes throughout the state. Yes, because we can all be witnessing completion of projects in one local government or other in the last 3-4 months. We saw it at Babapi, you are here. We saw it on television, we hear over the radio, how some local government chairmen were commissioning projects, building markets, providing borehole, solar lights, and even grading of roads. And these are what have direct bearing on the local people. So I can rightly say that the local government at this point in time has been performing. They still have their challenges.
Okay. So we can say they are part of the success story of
course, part of success story of our 45 years of existence.
Barrister Isaac, Well, I want to presume you are a neutral person because my two other guests carries honorable, but you carry barrister. Okay. Now, from your own observation, will you say that local governments in Ogun State have also been adding value to this state? And to what extent will you describe local government relevance in all of this?
With all sincerity, I for one, have not seen the performance of the local government directly.
Okay.
Some of the performances I see, you might not believe, are the CDAs. Your normal community development. Those are some of the performances I see. Where I stay at Abeloba,
okay,
our transformer got spoiled. The port was made, blah, 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 nothing happened. It is the CDA that went into action and we contributed money. And I tell you, we have two transformers. We have a standby, we have a working one.
Yeah, that means perhaps you don't have good representatives in your area.
So, but basically speaking, the persons with first-hand information have stated that these persons have worked, these persons have worked. And I have no reason to dispute it because I have not seen the contrary of it. If they have stated that, I want to say that the persons that are performing so far are what I call preparatory step for legitimacy, preparatory step to gather votes. And the more they perform, the better for them. When the period comes, you make it very difficult for an opponent to come and take that seat. In fact, your performance will be very glaring even to a blind man. Even the deaf will hear of your performance. And at that point, whether you have a godfather or you don't have a godfather, and the people see your performance, the people become your godfather, mother father, and brother father, and everything for you. The people will stand to see that their vote is counted in your favor. So if they perform in that way, it's a preparatory step for them. It's like going through classes to become the local government, valid local government chairman, constitutionally recognized. So I congratulate the various local government chairmen, and I also urge the ones that are not performing to perform as there is no godfatherism. Even your godfather will not support you if you are not performing. It is a politician that left the MRDD to a PDP. It became that they gave him big position. They said, why would you do like this? He said, no. When you buy a big player from another club, you don't place him under, you place him on top. So if you're good, with the moment you come in, it will be easy for you to score back. But all in all, from what I have been seeing, because I know if the local government chairman don't collaborate with the CDA, you will hardly have some of those performance. If the local government chairman says, oh, okay, my people, don't pay anything, I'm going to provide you a transformer. And to say, no, organizations should not pay anything, and nothing like that is done. So you discover that whatever that happens, either constructively or directly to the knowledge of the local government, it is attributed to him within his area. Because that is his terrain, that is his territory, that is where he governs. Whether you do it or you don't do it, it gets to his ear. Because he has his representatives there that goes to tell him this is what's happening and this is what's happening. So it's for him to come in or for him not to come in. If it's good, he applauds. If it's bad, he comes in.
Okay, all right. Now, we're still looking at local government administration. Vis-a-vis Ogun at 45. In the past, we've had series of efforts at possibly increasing the number of local governments in this state. You know, when Chief Oshoba was the governor, at the time, I think he increased the number of local government, but couldn't get the concurrence of the National Assembly as stipulated by law. The recent past administration also did the same thing, but no legal backing from the National Assembly. But when you look at all of this, Ogun State as it is today, do we really deserve more local governments, in your own opinion?
Well, let me first make an input. It is not exclusive responsibility of the National Assembly to create local governments.
Yeah, but concurrence, that's why I use the word
concurrence.
Yes.
Even local government has input.
Okay.
Yes, that's the legal luminary will be able to bear me witness. The National Assembly, the simple majority of the State Assembly, and local councils in that area must be willing, then referendum must also take place. So let's look at it. Do we really need new local government? If these questions were asked about 4 years ago, I would say there was no need. Because those who are in the system that didn't see what, I didn't see anything. If the question was asked when Oshoba, Daniel, by the governors. And so there was need to have additional local government. But we must not forget that only 7 ranks in 4 local government councils were enumerated in the constitution.
Yes.
Those other ones created were just babies of the states. They were state babies. You see what is taking place.
State is nursing them.
What is taking place in Lagos today. Even when we created this one, we created in Abeokuta, in Ogun State, you know what is taking place. So if the local government are going to be given autonomy, in fact, let's see how the existing one, what are they going to do? Let's see their performances. By the time they are constitutionally elected, by the time they are democratically elected, they can now say, oh, we need local government. But for now, I will say we should still stay with the existing 20 local governments in Ogun State. When the governor came, Prince Bapagiodo, the first thing he did was to cancel all these LCD. He went back straight to the 20 local government. Personally, I'm in support of that gesture. We should remain, we should stay with our 20 local government. We have mentioned it. My brother may not know the legal, from the legal point of view. I will look at it from political point of view. You see, the government of Tela, what he has been doing may not be what people will see in Lafenwa market, what people will see on the major road, Patokili. We know he's dealing with local government. I'm sure the Badista may not even know there's a place called blind community, blind people community. He may not, but today he has known. In that blind community, he gave them borehole. Not only that, go to many places. I can mention to 5 what he has done, but they are not. Already he's constructing borehole now in Lafenwa market. I saw it on the platform. I saw it on Facebook. Drilling borehole for people of Lafenwa market. The people of this place, Elega, they have got their own share. So these are the grassroots people that need local government.
He is
attending to them.
He is not living in the grassroots area.
So the state governments are performing at their own level. The federal government at their own level. For now, I want to advise that we stay with the 20 existing local government.
Anyway, okay, let me just take what you have said for you. But Honorable, talking seriously, yes, he has that's his position. But I actually raised that question when you look at even the Ogun State government, even in the past, have several times said that the population we have in this state is more than maybe about 200% than what we have on paper. And then when you look at, okay, let me take, for instance, look at Obafemi Owode local government. In fact, this area where we are is part of Obafemi Owode, and it gets to Mowe, that's a local government. If you go to maybe another local government like Adudola, from Agbara down to Ajegunle, this other side, and Ijokuota there, and all of those places. Just like the same thing as Ifo. Ifo is across the road at Kara to Isheri. And you have Shagamu. Shagamu from that place to Ikorodu. But you look at all these local governments, and do you think people will still not say local government is not doing anything? When you look at that large size population, can they really make an appreciable impact that will make a possible additional one? Not necessary.
Well, thank you, sir. I will not subscribe to what the Honorable said, but I want to share a sentiment that if the 20 are given the wherewithal to perform, and they are able to perform effectively and efficiently well, then there will be the need for us to agitate for more local government. Honestly speaking, we deserve more local government, considering the population size. Yeah. Yes. After the time we had 20 local government in Ogun State, I am sure the population of Ogun State then, if not times 3, will be about times 4 now. And as such, if we are to match that population size with performance, then most of these local government, like Owode, I believe if you split them into 2, 3, 4 local governments, That is when the people can actually feel the impact of the government. But even the 20 we have is as if they are existing on paper. They have to now agitate for more local government. So let us make sure that the 20 that currently exist has the wherewithal to perform, and thereafter we can now agitate for more local government. But we are doing for more local government in the state, considering our population size. Otherwise, people will still complain that they are not seeing the dividends of democracy at that level of government. You have mentioned it. If a chairman is in Chagamu and you want him to perform as far as to the boundary between Ikorodu,
with the small money that is getting,
with the small resources available at his disposal, then his impact might not be felt. So, in the first instance, I want to subscribe to the fact that even the 20 we have must be made functional, and thereafter we'll start to agitate for more local government.
Okay, all right, thank you. Barrister Izoya.
Yeah,
Now, as it is, presently, the Constitution gives them 3 years tenure for local government administration. And most times, by the time the 3 years is in between the 4 years of the state, some people are agitating that they should run the same length so that we won't be having a situation where there will be unelected officials at the local governments. What's your take on this?
Yes, I think it shows sheer laziness on the part of our electoral offices.
Sheer laziness,
Yes,
you call it?
yes, on the part of our electoral. If
Okay.
you say
I'll ask the politicians later on that.
electorate, I say on our electoral process, I didn't say the legislative process.
I know, electoral process.
It's the electoral process.
Yeah.
And with all honesty, we must agree with ourselves that if it's done for everything to commence the same time and collapse the same time, you have effective administration. You will not have that lapse of, can this person come in at this point, can this person not do it? You will not have that gap or that gap at all. If there should be maybe 1 month, maybe 2 months. By that, you see the whole thing run effectively. And because the issue of conducting election for the local government is somehow dicey. It's neither here nor there. The state government has the power to say, okay, we're conducting this election as so and so. And they have the power to say, yeah, for so and so reasons, so this election can no longer hold. And the electorate at the grassroots level will not know what is happening. They don't know what is happening. To them, what you have is a local government chairman. Whether elected or brought in, to them what you have is a local government chairman. So if that is done, it will be like complying with the law. It will be like assisting us to be on a playing ground. You can be there today, I can be there tomorrow. So we are trying to remove the opportunity of suspecting you for anything. We're trying to remove the opportunity of not giving someone the opportunity of doing anything. When you don't have the chance, you will not even venture into it. The issue of illegality, the issue of not conducting an election, the issue of he has interest, that's why it's not doing, will not even arise. Because the opportunity and the privileges will not be there for you to even tap into.
Okay.
So I subscribe to that. Lending my voice to whether we need more local government. I want to say it's natural and logical. Once a population is growing, it is expected that the political structure should have a change in order to meet up with the growing population. If you have a local government that is catering for long words as such, one, you will not have the impact. Two, the people that are, remember, it's a grassroots government. Once the thing is becoming big, remember this place in some years back, this place was a thick bush, thick forest. Nobody was here. So the issue of the local government,
thank you for reminding us.
The local government, the issue of the local government chairman, thinking of people here will not even arise. His brain will not even carry it. Because he will not think of forest, he will think of human beings. But the forest has now turned to human. And there is need for extension of his brain in order to cater for those persons. So if you don't bring the government closer to the people, the more the population grows, the more the government should be coming closer to the people. If the government is far from the people, then it's not a local government anymore. It is now foreign government. So it must be local. That is the people. The woman that is farming and has never attended Shakwa market, only for the Shakwa people to come and pack his goods, you must be able to have his input. And it does not come to Okemoso. So that's the essence of the definition of the local government must be given that definition and performance. That is the local people's government. If it's far from them, it's no longer their government.
All right, thank you. Yes, it's still focused live, and we're still discussing Ogun at 45, focus on local government administration in Ogun State. At this point, you can be part of this discussion. You can just call on the line that will soon come up on the screen, but it's 080 30302929. That's the number is already there. 30442929 is the number you will call. You can be part of this discussion. Let's hear your views on this topic. Yes, Honorable, there is this other area that I want us to look at. At this stage, we should be looking forward. Certainly, we will say we'll be 45 tomorrow. And beyond 45...
That's an adult.
It's already an adult. So it's even beyond the life begins at 40.
Yeah,
because it's already... All right. Now going forward, looking at the process of bringing in the local governments into office. Presently, at the state level, we have state electoral commission handling the local government election. And we have INEC for state and national elections. Some people are saying that why not centralize all of these elections in the hands of INEC? I'm looking forward now. What would be your suggestion in this?
My position on that, if OGC, for example, Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission will be objective, just as we have to negotiate other states that do the same thing. You see, local government election let me call it the handwork of the state government. When you asked the question the other time that should the local government election and the state government election come in at the same time, local government should spend 4 years, it will be cumbersome, it will be difficult. Who finances the local government election? Is it the federal government? The state government finances the local government election. I'm sure in the past administration, it cost them almost $2 billion to conduct local government election in Ogun State. Today, I'm sure, possibly, I want to believe that possibly, one of the reasons that might be causing delay in the election government could be money. Because to conduct local government election will not cost nothing less than $4 billion now. I want to use conservative estimate that it will not cost nothing less than $4 billion now.
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Adekweju. I'm calling from Rwanda.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
The system we have in Nigeria, all of them have rightly said, has been hijacked by state government. It's good. It's a government. When
Oh, your line is actually fading. We can't.
Hello, thank you.
Yeah, but it's breaking. It's cracking.
I cannot hear you again. I cannot even hear you again.
Okay. Okay. Well, you can quickly make your submission. We can hear you. Hello. Okay, I think it's gone. You're making. We can't continue with that call because we can't really hear you very well.
Okay, so if you are going to have local government and state government election, the two arms of government should spend 4 years. By the time the state government ceases to exist, what I mean is that the tenure is gone, then you want to have local government. Which governor will conduct the election? It is not the power of the federal government to conduct election for the local government. It is the prerogative function of the state government to conduct election, but it is money that the state government will spend. They will add up committee, ballot paper, all this, all that, and so many things. That even creating awareness that local government election will be there is also there. So I don't want to support the idea that local government and state government should come and go at the same time. No, okay. There must be somebody at the state level to conduct local government elections.
Okay.
So you ask a question.
Yes, I want you to, because of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, just quickly make
on what issue? On what?
Okay, the last question I asked, the last question I asked you. No, that's what you have responded. Yes, that's what you have. Yes, Barrister, because we are going home.
I understand.
I want your message to Ogun State at 45 so that we can begin to round off this discussion.
Wow, Ogun State at 45.
Yes.
It has been nice. My pastor will say Ogun State is the spiritual headquarters of Nigeria, and you must agree with me. The whole headquarters of Christians, the whole headquarters of Muslims, the whole headquarters of our traditional rulers also, they are in Ogun State. Ogun State
and the whole headquarters of the Nigerian Bar Association. We have the highest number of sons. You don't know.
Well, Ogun State has the highest number of everything. Talk of the pillars of Nigeria. Ogun State laid, if you go to Aso Rock, you could be able to point that this is this person's pillar, this is Awolowo's pillar, this is this person's pillar. They laid this pillar of this country. And to that, I give them that credit. And I see Ogun State as a peaceful state, regardless of the fact that it is close to Lagos, but the Lagos way of life did not infiltrate into it. In fact, people from Lagos run here to come and enjoy the money they have made from Lagos, and I'm glad Ogun State is doing well, and the governor is also doing well, especially in curbing crime and taking care of the place. In fact, strengthening a lot of institutions, making them to perform very well, so that there will be peace in this place. It's a wonderful state, I must confess, and I wish the state the best.
Honorable, your wish for Ogun State at 45?
Well, my wish for the state is that we should count ourselves very lucky. Barrister said, we are forced in all the good things of life. We should be able to sustain and maintain that. And we should continue to support our government. The government has been trying its best, and we need support of the people so that we can perform more than what we even expected of them. I want to congratulate the state this 45 and wish continue to grow and work stronger and stronger.
Let me give you this little joke. I was in Abuja. I showed them the Ankara that my baby wore. I said, this Ankara is from Abuja. I said, oh, we know. That's the headquarters
of. Your greetings to Ogun State. Just in one sentence. So that
I am lucky to be an indigenous of Ogun State.
Okay.
And I'm also lucky to be a native of Abeokuta North Local Government. I say sadly speaking, we have everything for we are also lucky that we have friends that are doing this time around. Is doing well. People are expecting more, and I believe that they are doing well. Congratulations to all of them.
Okay. So I also say congratulations to all sons and daughters of Ogun State and residents of Ogun State on the attainment of 45 years of existence of this wonderful state. We've heard from my guests on this program today that much that the local government could do and could still do. So I want to thank my guests, Honorable Wale Bello, I thank you for coming. Barrister Isaac Isoya, I also thank you. And Honorable Akim Balum, I also thank you. And to the viewer outside there, I also thank you all for being part of the program. Until next week, when I come your way again, I leave in the hands of Almighty God. Bye-bye.